That was Andy Johnson reporting there. And Dr. Ahmed, I'll put it to you first. You're a Muslim, you're a GP. Since 9/11 and 7/7 and the debate on the veil, has it become more difficult to be a Muslim in Britain?
It has, but let's first of all mention the positive things. Being a Muslim in this country is a very positive experience. I think you can practice your religion and be free to be a Muslim in this country more freely than anywhere else in the world. Things have become a bit harder, and things like Jack Straw's comments don't really help the issue. There have been attacks in the streets. There is a human toll to all of this. We mustn't forget that in our comments, especially from cabinet ministers. We've got to make responsible comments.
OK, Margot, this is Blackburn. Is there a bigger split in Blackburn than there was 10 years ago?
Yes, I don't remember the burqa here 10 years ago. It suddenly appeared in the last 7 years. And what bothers me about it, when you see it in the street, what it says is, this is a uniform, I'm on this side, and it divides us. It says, look at me, I'm different. And they are different. It's no good kidding yourself. Somebody walking down the street, covered head to foot in black, is very alien and very frightening. And you can't smile and say hello, which is normal.
Do you want us all to dress the same?
Pardon?
Do you want us all to dress the same?
It's nothing to do with dress. It's nothing to do with dress. This is a political statement. I don't mind what they wear as long as they don't cover their face.
But we can be different without being separate. I think that's the issue here.
No. If you cover your face, you're saying, I don't want to know you.
As a Muslim,
I'm not one of you.
As a Muslim...
No, you two. Shanaz, please.
Yeah, I mean, what you've got to accept is your perception. That is your own subjective perception of the looking at someone.
Lancashire perception is. I'm telling you what the Lancashire perception is.
I am. Margot, Shanaz is from Lancashire.
Yeah, I am from Lancashire, and so it's not just about what you think and your perception of Lancashire. Whether you wear a burqa, or whether you wear the niqab, or wear the hijab, all the perceptions that are made of Muslim, and especially Muslim women, are negative. It's that we are subordinate, we are told what to do, and we are somehow really don't have a mind of our own. Why does the niqab, why do you feel that it is a negative thing? That is your perception.
Shanaz, hold on 1 second, very quickly. I'm not going to bring Margot back in again, but it frightens Margot. It does. And some people like Margot. Do you understand that?
I do understand that. I don't accept it, but I do understand it.
OK, good. Fine.
When I go around schools where they've got mixed populations, what you notice at the moment is the Muslim students and the white students tending to be separate, and so the schools and the colleges themselves have got to work on that, on trying to bring people together.
I'm going to get someone not too close to me. Your point, please, sir.
Now, one of the problems with Jack's statement is he's forcing us to choose sides. It's them and us, and Margot's comment is quite indicative of that.
I'm not quite sure about that, because I have nothing against, but you're talking like I'm against Muslims. I'm not. I believe that all this race, all this multicultural talk and all these race relation people actually cause divisions. I think they should just let us all get on with being ourselves. I think we get on very well.
Remember, please, this debate can be heard in full, unexpurgated detail, after this programme on BBC's radios Manchester, Lancashire and Merseyside. I'll take one more question. This gentleman has his hand up, been very, very polite. I'm going to give you my mic, sir. Hold on.
I think one of the things, what you will find, is the majority of the British population are united and not divided on is the foreign policy, is what has led to radicalisation.
I just say to you, think about France, all right? French foreign policy is, as it were, the opposite of ours. They've opposed Iraq. They have a different approach on Palestine, and yet their Muslim community are more alienated and more radicalised and more marginalised than are ours. So to say that it's all down to our foreign policy, in a way I wish it was, because we could easily resolve this problem, it isn't.
OK, very, very quickly, ma'am. I
think that's why many Muslims have spoken up so strongly about it, because we do not want to go down the road of France. And it's a very slippery road that we're going down. If you start to, the them and us issue is there. It's become a Muslim and a non-Muslim issue. The issue of identity and the problems that we've got in society are not just down to faith, and this is something that we had a discussion earlier about. When I get called a name down the street, I don't call, oh, you Muslim. I get, oh, you Paki. Let's accept it. That's what happens. They don't see my faith, they see my colour, they see my gender, maybe my sexuality. That's what they see. They don't see my faith. The faith has come into it only because of the national and the international issues around Iraq.
With your headdress.
Pardon?
They'll see your face with your headdress.
And?
Well, that's your faith.
Yeah, but I got called names before I wore the hijab.
Yes,
I wore the hijab 10 years ago. Prior to 10 years ago, I got called the same names. It's not just...
I think it's a mixture.
It's about identity.
I have to stop you there. We've gone back 10 years, we've been in the present day. The important part of this programme right now is to look at the future. We've talked about what life is like now. What could the future hold for all of us in the northwest of England? Please, take a look at this.
I am Abdul Hamid Qureshi and I am the chairman of Lancashire Council of Mosques. I think that we have to establish genuine debates. Second, that we are all same people, human beings, and there are a lot of issues which are common to us. We have to strive together in order to address those issues in a sense of education, in a sense of development of young people, in a sense of understanding of one another, in a sense of celebrating things together. I think there are plenty of things which unites us than what differentiate among us.
My name is Michael Johnson. I'm a councillor on Blackburn with Darwen Council and I represent the England First Party. I feel the way forward at the moment is the fact that the Muslim extremists should stop purporting violence and threatening and shouting about killing people in this country, and they should start looking at what the situation really is. People in this country have had enough. All they're seeing is Muslim extremists and they see the veil as a sign of that same fundamentalism.
I'm Pasha Shah. I'm chair of Peacemaker and a community cohesion consultant. I think the way forward is to look at what we mean by integration. Do we mean by integration forced integration and assimilation? If we do, then we're not going to go very far forward. If we're talking about shared values and getting people to work together, to go to school together, to share their experience and value together, then I think we're going to make some progress.
I'm Dr. Andrew Holden. I'm a sociologist from the University of Lancaster. The most important way forward has to be education, education, education. I don't just mean citizenship education, although that's quite important. I mean education in a broader context, education among faith leaders and the links between the two. It's about effective strategic leadership, and it's about schools and the wider community coming together with young people.
Professor Cantle, you have studied the worst outbreaks of community disrelations, the riots of 5 years ago. In fact, were you the one who penned the phrase parallel lives?
Afraid so, yes.
Yes. Are we condemned to live those parallel lives, or do you see ways forward, even as we sit here tonight?
No, I think we've got to recognise there's a lot of successful mixed communities in this country as well. More people are living outside the country in which they're born, more British people are living in Spain, in many other parts of the world. It's just the way the world is going, and people like the English First Party and the BNP have just got to recognise that multiculturalism is going to grow. We've got to actually learn to live with each other in this new world.
You think we can be separate and still be a cohesive community?
Of course, as long as we're not totally separate. If somebody is in one community, the Muslim community or another community, and they have no contact at all with members of another community, then it's pretty clear that people like the BNP can get in there and demonise one community against another. They can prey on the ignorance and fear of each other.
Dr. Ahmed, I hardly want you to endorse one of Mr. Blair's more famous lines, education, education, education. But was that gentleman correct?
It's absolutely correct. We have to start nurturing a common sense, a sense of common values, a sense of belonging amongst people. It has to be a heartfelt sense of belonging. We have to start in the schools. I mean, you've got some schools in the northern Milltown areas where the ethnic makeup is over 90% of a particular population. And that can't be right. So we've got to start using school exchange programs, making sure...
I mean, in some cases, in many cases in Blackburn, it's 100%. Right. And it's, I mean, both sides. And you can't force people to go to different schools.
So you agree we can't...